We're actually still messing around with sort of what the album exactly is going to be, and we're like doing the final stages.
It is very exciting to have you back because you've got some brand new music for us, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat about it. But first things first, I wanted to talk to you about Halloween weekend, because I don't know if you saw this post on Instagram from a Hooks Looks, but you are a costume in 2021 apparently.
Yeah, I think it's happened a few times. I think is the one you're referring to. It's got like Pidge, the cat, and bananas and all sorts and stuff, right? Yeah, it's happened a few times. It's flattering, I think.
Yeah, the fandom is strong, and it's a nice thing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
It's a weird one because my girlfriend was thinking of going as dead Stevie Nicks this year, but then I said, you can't really do that when they're still alive. It's a bit of a weird one, right?
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. You got to choose your Halloween costumes very carefully.
Very, very carefully. Did you dress up by any chance?
I didn't, because I was actually in Greece, and they don't really. It's not a big thing there, so I only just got back to London. Okay. But I haven't done it in a while, and I need to probably get my act together with that. But no. So this year, no. Sadly, no dressing up for me. And also I can't go as myself, so that's a bummer.
It will be a bit of a cop-out. Well, listen, Yannis, you're back with new music, and this new tune, Wake Me Up, is an indicator of a new era for Foals. Can you tell me a bit about the song?
So the song is for the dance floor, really, like for our idea of the dance floor. We wrote it during the second lockdown, and we were in South London, and we had access to a little small studio. And obviously, as everyone knows, it was a pretty bleak time, and it was kind of depressing. And we didn't want to add to any of that heaviness. We just wanted to but both sort of selfishly for ourselves, write music that would cheer us up, so that when we would go into the room, we'd shut the door, and then we could just be transported to somewhere else and transport ourselves to an imagined future where us and all our mates would be back on the dance floor, and people would be having house parties, and you could go to the pub and all of the stuff that we were missing.
Yeah.
So basically the tune is kind of written for that. In a way, it's written for the re-emergence of the world.
Did you find it particularly difficult to go to that positive place? Because as you said, it was such a bleak time for all of us.
You know what? Weirdly, not really. I think the moment we stepped through the studio door, it was just kind of we kind of managed to forget about the outside world a bit. And, pre-COVID, when we'd discussed making another record, we'd kind of said anyway that we wanted to make a record that was heavy on the grooves, and it was physical and for the live show, and to make a record that was focused as well. So it wasn't sort of the opposite of the last one in a way, where in the last one we explored whatever we wanted to, but this one we wanted it to be streamlined. So but yeah, it wasn't that difficult. It was just, in fact, it was kind of a relief to go in there and then just imagine that you're on a beach, or imagine you're in a party, or anywhere that wasn't there was the easy thing to do.
Over the past few weeks and months, we have got back to live music. I saw you guys at All Points East, and this song had a different name there, right? It was Nova, was it?
Yeah, it was just sort of, I don't even know how the name kind of leaked out, because it was just a sort of working title on a set list. But I think, it was that song though. So we played it 3 or 4 times over the summer. Because we just thought we should try, we'd been working on new music up until those shows. So we were like, let's just, let's try something new. And also we just thought it'd be the perfect kind of song for people getting back together again for the first time. And it went down a storm. So then that kind of really pushed us on to get it finished and get it out and stuff. So we kind of can't believe how quickly it's come round, to be honest. There was a period when we were writing and we just felt like, will we ever get back on tour? And so we're just chuffed that things are getting back to normal.
So that was kind of the litmus test then, to see if this was going to be the first single of this new project then.
Yeah, we did. When we played it, we didn't think it necessarily would be. We have some other pretty stomping new tunes as well, so which we're excited for people to hear. But then, I think this one just made sense, and it kind of came together in the last days of being in the studio. So, and the reaction was just awesome to it. So.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about the wider project, because I'm guessing there is an album that you're working on. Have you got a title that you can tell us about? Maybe a date?
No, I can't. We're not quite at that stage yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite like we're close. We're close. That's
Yeah.
what I can say. We're still kind of messing around with titles. We're actually still messing around with sort of what the album exactly is going to be, and we're like doing the final stages. But there'll be lots more music coming out next year, and there will be an album out next year at some point. So, and we really can't wait to get back out on the road and have everyone hear it.
For sure. And this album, you're working with producers again, and that's something that you very consciously didn't do on Everything Not Saved. You said in another interview with John Kennedy, actually, that when you were going into that process, it's something that you would do again, but you would think, a bit more clearly about some of the work that would come with it, producing your own album. Is that something that you thought about this time round and thought, do you know what, let's make this a little bit easier for ourselves?
Yeah, there was a bit of that. Yeah, I mean, anyone that's followed the band, the last record was like a big body of work, and it was draining, and it was really fulfilling, but it was like, it was a lot, on every level. And I think quite often we react against the record that we've made before, and so on this one, weirdly, actually, instead of working with one producer, we've worked with a bunch of producers, and we've worked in different studios, and we've approached it quite differently than any other record we've made before. But the other thing we wanted to do is just to sort of focus right down and like not allow ourselves to write any kind of Foals song that we like. Like we wanted to kind of make a record that's hopefully going to be really cohesive, and that when you get to the end of it, you want to put it right back on, and it takes you on a kind of, we wanted to kind of make a record where you can put it on at a house party and it can go all the way through.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
So that's the vibe. But yeah, we never make it easy on ourselves. I mean, it's like working with lots of producers was a risk as well, but it's worked out well.
Yeah, it's definitely paying off. And we should say as well that this is a new era for Foals in that Edwin's left the band now. He's gone to study his postgrad. Was it difficult saying goodbye after, being playing together for 15, 16 years, is it now?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's never, I'd be lying if I said like it was a good feeling when a member leaves, it's like there's all sorts of kind of, it's a bittersweet thing in the sense of we are happy for him, and I think also for us, it sort of shook us up a bit, in a good way. And it's kind of refreshed things, but we couldn't have left on better terms. And he's been studying like while we've been on the road, so we were always aware that he was headed into that path. It didn't come as a surprise, and he's left for really good reasons. What he's studying and what he wants to do with his life is really valuable. So, and for us, it means that there's a little bit more room in the studio, and there's a bit more space in the songs.
Yeah.
So everyone's a winner.
Fair enough. And in a similar way, when Walter left the band, Jeremy from Everything came in to play bass with you guys, and I should say did an amazing job with that. Is there any chance that we can expect some more ringers coming into Foals in the future?
Yeah, maybe somebody else from Everything will just sort of slowly start melding bands. No, we're not sure about that yet, but yeah, whoever we get will have to be great, because Edwin was like, he was an amazing talent and stuff. So, but we'll find somebody good, and the show's going to be as banging as ever before.
You've got some massive shows 2022 lined up through April and May. The dates are on our website, radiox.co.uk, and you're playing some big old venues. I mean, there's 4 at the Olympia. There's the Empress Ballroom, which I always love to see on a touring schedule. Castlefield Bowl. Are you planning something particularly special this time round, because you guys are known for your live act?
Yeah, I mean, they are big shows, and we've been like itching to play them. I'm sure there's going to be a whole new look to the stage and to the show. But what exactly that will be, I'm not sure yet. It's kind of a little bit of a while off, and because we're sort of still in the trenches, as it were, with the record. I think once we've got that kind of in a clearer place, then that our mind will go more to the show. But I mean, suffice to say, I think whatever it's going to be, it's just going to be slamming shows. I mean, I think that's the thing we live for. So whether there's bells and whistles or not, the point is that the show's going to be awesome. So, I mean, we just can't wait, and with our shows as well, it's like a lot of the energy comes from the crowd and the interaction with that. So it's like, I think we just can't wait, basically. I think they're going to be great.
You talk about those bells and whistles there. Have you ever had any that you've kind of wanted to throw into the set that maybe have been a little bit Spinal Tap, where someone's had to say, actually, I think we'll just rein it in a bit?
I mean, we used pyro once and it was cool, but also it was sort of terrifying as well, because we're like, with pyro, you can't go to certain areas of the stage. And to be honest, when we're on stage, the last thing I want to think about is where I can and can't go. I just want to go wherever I want to go. So there were times when I think we had to rein back the ideas of pyro because one of us was in danger of being turned into a crisp.
Yeah, fair dues. And this is going to take us on to album number 7. Like, you guys have been doing this for a while now. And I did want to ask, are there any songs that you don't play live anymore or haven't done for a long time that you particularly miss playing?
Yeah, there's loads, to be honest. In a perfect world, I'd like us to be able to play all kind of 70 songs, and then be able to just on a night go, right, let's play like Big Love off Antidotes, or let's play Milk and Black Spiders off Holy Fire or whatever. But it's just impossible. Yeah. But I think if there's a particular song that deserves probably a comeback, as it were, we've got a song on Total Life Forever called Afterglow that I know lots of the fans want to hear again. So that would be cool to like resuscitate. We do try and switch it out a fair bit, but then you can't start drop it. We don't feel like we can drop some of the big hitters in order to make room. So it's always a balancing act.
So can I have just a little fanboy moment and run a couple of songs by you then, just to get a feeling as if they will ever come back?
Yeah, sure.
So let's start with Snake Oil from Holy Fire.
Yeah, Snake Oil definitely will get played. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we played it quite a bit, not on these 4 shows, but this year. But yeah, that'll be around for sure.
Nice. 2 Trees.
2 Trees is a tricky one, man.
It's one of my favourites. I'm not asking you to play it just for me, but it is.
All right, when we know you're coming to a show, you give us a heads up and we'll try and get it ready.
I'll hold you to that. Although, if it's going to be that or the next one, then I'm not sure. Last but not least, Hummer.
Hummer, yeah, that sporadically returns, and because it's sort of we know it so well that it requires almost no practice. So yeah, that'll come back. So the only one that you asked that's proper tricky there is 2 Trees.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed.
We'll see what we can do.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the effort. So, Yannis, we're going to wrap things up. We do a little thing on the evening show about gig memorabilia, and this is asking some of our guests, some of our listeners, about the things that they've held on to from gigs that they've been to or gigs that themselves have played over the years, the things that they just couldn't bring themselves to throw away. So we've got a stub from the first time the Strokes played in Scotland. We've got a pair of Mike Joyce's drumsticks. I've got a T-shirt from when I saw you guys in 2008, which definitely no longer fits me, but it's there. And I was wondering, is there anything that you've held on to over the years from a show that you've been to that has got pride of place at home?
Yeah, I've got some stuff. Like, I've got a pretty extensive nerdy kind of collection of stuff. Lots of sort of weird, like I went to see Mogwai, was the first sort of cool show I went to in Oxford. And my mate took me there, and that kind of blew my mind. And I've got a poster and a ticket stub. And that show sort of changed my life because it made me change the kind of music I made. So I've got that. And then beyond that, I'm quite sentimental about all of the early Foals. I've got all the like original flyers that I made for our own self-booked tours and stuff like that. And I got some nerdy archive stuff to do with Foals and the band before Foals, Ed Fitz. And I keep it pretty dialed.
Nice. Is there like a little vault at your house where you're keeping all that?
Yeah, it's sort of all stuffed in the garage, hopefully in waterproof containers. But yeah, I got a ton of it.
Cool. Well, listen, Yannis, thanks so much for coming on the show tonight. It is an absolute banger. This new tune, Wake Me Up, Foals are back. I'm excited. Everyone's excited. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
Radio X.